As all eyes are on the thousands of Afghan refugees evacuating their homes, we're taking a look at what's going to happen within the country after August 31st. We're doing that by getting a better view at Afghanistan's neighboring country, Pakistan. Joining us now is Pakistan's ambassador to the United States, Ambassador Asad Majeed Khan. Ambassador, thank you so much for being here and welcome to Capra Review. So Pakistan's role is so critical in the future of Afghanistan. It's been openly noted that the Taliban has had safe refuge in Pakistan for decades, and there's been concern that Pakistan could have been one of the reasons why the Taliban had such a successful offensive in every province leading all the way up to Kabul. So what has been the response of the Pakistani government towards its neighbor after this takeover?
Well, first of all, let me say that Pakistan has actually suffered the most on account of this conflict almost in perpetuity in Afghanistan, in terms of blood and treasure both. We lost about 80,000 of our own citizens on account of the conflict that poured into Pakistan. We suffered economically also with almost $150 billion. Therefore, anything that happens in Afghanistan really has consequences for Pakistan. And Tasmin, let me say this, and this has, we draw no pleasure out of, as I said in the beginning, that from the conflict in Afghanistan. And then our Prime Minister has been consistently advocating that there is no military solution to the conflict in Afghanistan. And if you look at how things have developed, the events of past few weeks clearly call for I would say, reflection on what exactly went wrong, where the assessments were not accurate, and then what is it that we should do right now to make up for the deficiencies that existed in the past. We will have time to reflect on the lessons learned, but for now what is really important is to make sure that things do not fall apart and that it does not become any more painful for the people of Afghanistan, who do have a right and a legitimate one to seek safety and security for themselves and their families.
And President Biden is saying U.S. troops will leave Afghanistan by the August 31st deadline. So what can we expect will be the relationship between Prime Minister Imran Khan with the leaders of the Taliban? Will the Pakistani government recognize and favor the Taliban?
We are working with the international community and the extended troika, which includes the United States, Russia, China, and Pakistan, has been in conversation with Taliban and with other Afghan parties also to encourage them to come to a common understanding. And we are closely following up on how the Taliban are conducting themselves, particularly in terms of delivering on the promises and commitments that they have been making in the process of negotiations. And so far, the signs that we are seeing, Tasmin, are, I would say, encouraging in terms of Taliban at least showing greater receptivity and demonstrating an interest in addressing the concerns of the international community. But in terms of recognition, as I said, that we will be working with the other members of the international community to see and to make those determinations as and when the time is right.
And Ambassador, has the Taliban's control of Kabul complicated Pakistan's relationship with the United States?
Really, I think and Pakistan and United States have been friends much before the Afghan conflict started. This is one of the oldest bilateral relationships that we have. United States is our largest, one of the largest trading partners. US is the largest export destination. It's an important and consequential relationship. We have been very close counterterrorism partners also in dismantling Al-Qaeda from that part of the world. So that those are abiding interests that our two countries have. We never wanted our relationship to be seen through the prism of any other country, be it Beijing, be it India or Afghanistan. So with Afghanistan, if we are able to do Afghanistan right in terms of working to encourage Afghan parties to come to a common understanding, I believe that would be a boon for the relationship. But independent of whatever happens in Afghanistan, there is a very convincing and compelling case for a strong and close U.S.-Pakistan partnership that I don't see going away anytime soon.
And people who are in Afghanistan right now, they're terrified that the progress that's been made over the past 20 years will just be lost. So will Pakistan move forward with any consequences if peace isn't stabilized in Afghanistan?
Really, I think if you look at the statement that our National Security Committee, which is headed by the Prime Minister, where all other key stakeholders in our national system are represented, the key elements of that statement include our expectation that Taliban would preserve the gains made over the past 20 years. They will uphold the human rights and women rights, that they would not let the Afghan territory be used against any country, including United States. And that remains our expectation from them. And we do hope that they will live up to those expectations and promises.
Pakistan's ambassador to the United States, Asad Majeed Khan, thank you so much, sir, for being here and for your time.
Thank you very much for having me.